Our next speaker is Enca, and Enca is going to be evaluated by Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, if you're ready, pretty please, do you mind introducing Enca's speech for me? Whenever you're ready, please, you take the stage. Thank you.
Good evening, Toastmasters and Jenny. Thank you, Domenica. I'll have the pleasure of evaluating Enca and her speeches admitting failure in a multicultural business world. It'll be a persuasive influence speech on lesson learned, which is going to last for 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Domenica.
Thanks so much, Emmanuel. Yes, so Enca's speech, as mentioned, is admitting failure. So Enca, please, when you're ready, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Domenica. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. I want to tell you today how important it is to understand how different cultures deal with failure. And in addition to the word of today, which is dulcet, I will give you 3 more words: failure, change, and efficiency. And I will try to explain how they're linked. Failure is a dirty word. Yes, and no one wants to admit to it. Actually, I'm one of these people. I finished my high performance leadership project a few weeks ago, and I should have had a lessons learned session with my team where we could look at what went well, what went wrong, and how we could do things better. But I haven't had it yet because, like most of us, I don't want to talk about failure. Most of us want to praise our successes. And that's good. That's very good. That's very important for ourselves, and it's very important for our teams. But if we do that all the time, and we do that only and for a long period of time, we will become complacent. And therefore, we will be resistant to change. Now, change is the second word of today. Admitting failure, admitting that we have problems and that we can do things better, makes us grow. Finding the solutions to those problems makes us change and makes us innovate. And we are in a world that is changing at a much faster pace than we ever thought. We're also in a world where we become members of global organizations, or we deal with global organizations, we deal with multicultural teams. And how do we adapt to change, discussing failure in a multicultural team? We do. That's why it is important for us to understand how different cultures deal with failure. Let's talk, for example, about Japan. Most countries and most cultures do not admit failure. Let's talk about Japan in the first instance. Talking about business failure in Japan is a professional no-no. You don't talk to your colleagues about failure. And if you do, your colleagues will be very, very uncomfortable. Business leaders in Japan, leaders of those businesses which are failing, feel that they have to personally apologize to their business partners and their employees for letting them down. That is a very personal side, very emotional side to failure. But it's not only Japan. Things like this happen in India, in Islamic countries, in China, in Latin countries, and even in Australia. In Latin countries, for example, business are done through people that you know because you've made long-lasting personal relationships. And the reputation of your business is also your personal reputation. So again, it's a very personal thing attached to failure. One place where the attitude to failure is completely different is the US. The US is a country of risk takers where business and entrepreneurship in general are well admired, well respected and admired, they think about failure as just a bump in the road to success. So do you know what they say? Fail fast and fail forward. So if you have to fail, fail fast, and then get up and move on to the next venture. Now, we're talking about a world of change where we have to adapt quickly. We should discuss failure and admit failure, but how do you do that in multicultural teams where you have people that would take failure as a very personal issue, and some others where it is ingrained in their culture? So, right. And this is where the third word of the evening comes: efficiency. I like to take a very Germanic view on all these. Germany is a risk-averse country, and the social fabric is actually held together by a lot of laws and rules. Their security, the long-term security, is very well priced. They build things to last. And they look at failure as an inefficiency, as part of the process. Okay. And they make sure they put a lot of effort into minimizing the likelihood of failure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like the idea of, in this world of changing, or this world of change, admitting failure, but doing it as an inefficiency, as a process. So I leave you today with the three words and how they link together: change, failure, and efficiency or inefficiency. And I hope that I had convinced you of how important it is to understand how multicultural teams face failure. Thank you very much.